What is going on, everybody? It's time for your TNA Impact Wrestling review for 5/17/2016. The episode that happened just last Tuesday ended in pandemonium, and then we get some shows that start in pandemonium. As you can see, well, I don't know if you would really know until we got into the review a little bit, but I am alone this week. Casey had some things come up, so he couldn't do it. I know we're supposed to be busy tomorrow, so I just said, let's go ahead and get it done and, get that thing out there for you guys. But finally we're live. For once in our lives, we are live and in living color, or maybe black and white, depending on what you see right now. But anyway, I'm definitely excited to get into this TNA Impact Wrestling review. Let me pull up the right notes, though, first. But, start off with a nice video package with Galloway versus Lashley, and then throughout the night they would show different training scenes and different things with Lashley and Galloway, kind of building up that suspense, building up that big match feel, which I love that TNA does even for these just normal Impact, because they don't have as many pay-per-views anymore. So they make these shows feel big and the matches in them feel big. So that's always a good thing. I definitely I was liking it throughout the night. Obviously, we saw that Lashley is a tank and can lift lots of heavy weights that I can't lift. But Galloway, his kind of video package was more, his promos throughout the course of the last couple of weeks on Lashley, and talking about how Lashley's kind of destroying the division and destroying TNA, and he's not the same guy he used to be. I get it. But then we'd see Lashley and Galloway come into the building, and a nice little big fight would break out. So this was kind of a cool way to, start the show, kind of building up that personal feel, but still building it up and building it up and building it up between Lashley and Galloway. I've definitely liked this feud. It's been a really good feud. It's been personal. It's been physical. We've seen fighting outside of the arena, which is like, what, this happens? You trying to tell me you can fight outside of a wrestling arena? No, 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 no. But I definitely think it's real cool. I think it's a cool thing they're putting into it. We've seen more of CNA using outside of the impact zone, outside of the arena that they're in, to kind of shoot segments and stuff like that. So I'm definitely liking it. And Chris Melendez was here, and I was like, wait, what? Chris Melendez is still on the roster? Because I hadn't seen him in a while either. So I was excited. I was excited to see that, Chris Melendez was still on the roster, man. I'm wondering if they're going to do anything with him, or if they're just kind of, letting him keep his spot because it is his dream and whatnot. I think it's still pretty cool that he's still on the roster. Next we'd have Willow come out with the umbrella, and I don't have an umbrella, so imagine. Comes out with the umbrella, and he talks about being free. Then Jeff Hardy comes out, and that kind of happens. Jeff Hardy kind of beats him up a little bit. They end up actually having a match. This wasn't the original Willow. This is actually another one of the other Willows, and we get the Twist of Hate by Willow met with a Twist of Fate by Jeff Hardy. This was a really short match, just kind of Jeff Hardy just kind of having his way with his own creation, as he calls him. Hardy goes for the mask, but he gets attacked by another Willow, and then the third Willow he says those things. He proclaims that this will be his nightmare. This was the original looking, more looking Willow, and then ends up revealing himself as Matt Hardy. The original Willow does. The other Willows stay masked, so that's kind of cool. Reveals himself as Matt Hardy with this weird dye in his hair. I'm like, Matthew, you ain't, it ain't that serious, man. You ain't gotta dye your hair, man. Just cause you upset don't mean the hair gotta go. He still got a wife, man. You got a wife and a kid. That kid gonna be looking at you like, what in the world is on your head? Daddy, you can't. I'm sure the kid is wondering what in the world going on in my dad's mind, man. But anyway, Matt Hardy reveals himself, and I did think that reveal could be more epic, but I think considering, because I know Casey was mad about this. I've talked to Casey about the show, and he was kind of mad about that they didn't really make it more epic or make it last a little bit longer. But I think we all knew the main Willow was Matt Hardy. I think what's now still cool and mysterious and kind of having us wonder is who are these other two Willows, because it's obviously not Spud because we see him on a regular basis, and it's not Tyrus because we see him on a regular basis, and plus none of them match the size of those guys. One's really, really, really skinny, the other one's kind of really buff. Like there's nobody that matches Tyrus' size. Definitely, you could make a point that Spud may be one of them, but it's gonna be a debut for someone, or maybe two people. I'm thinking maybe one of those new tag teams that they signed recently. I could see that happening. I'm kind of wondering, is it gonna really happen? But um, Jeff would kind of try to fight back, but it just wouldn't really happen. There was just no avail there for him. There was no way he could fight this off, which you know kind of building that like numbers game type of thing. I'm definitely liking it. Casey wasn't a fan of it. From what I've heard from him, he wasn't really a huge fan of the whole reveal being tonight. But I think if he thinks about it, and the fact that we know who these guys are. We know Matt Hardy. We know Matt Hardy's out there doing his thing. Am I not right? Justin, comment on my videos talking about it's the 18th. It was not the 18th. It was the 17th because that's a Tuesday. You're the worst. Anyway, my videos acting like I don't know my info. I don't know my info. I know my info. I know. But anyway, Nobody couldn't be on the review, but he can comment on the review. I'm just saying. Anyway. I mean, I gave him an open invitation. I did, but Matt Hardy would finish his promo out with everything ends, even the indestructible Jeff Hardy. So they're still building that feud, and I think that's gonna conclude at Slammiversary because later on they would have Jeff Hardy would be very upset and talk about how him and the Creatures would kind of end this thing at Slammiversary. So that should be good. I wonder if Matt's gonna keep this whole like demonic, upset, weird hair thing throughout that whole entire time, or is he gonna go back to the I can't Matt Hardy? Any chance I get to do it, I'm gonna. I'm wondering, is he going to keep that up, or what's going to go down with this? So there's a lot of questions, but that's always a good thing. In certain feuds, there's a lot of questions, but I'm waiting for them to be answered. Then we go backstage, and we got a new apprentice, Maria, the girl. She got money. She got money and looks and whatnot. So she got a new apprentice who got the looks. I don't know if she got the money, because I just don't. I don't know. I ain't talked to her. We ain't had no personal conversations, but I know Maria got the money. I be seeing her in the pool and whatnot. Later on in segments, there's playing segments at the house and stuff, which is cool. I think that's a cool little thing they're doing with Mike Bennett. Kind of promoting him as like an older EC3, I guess. Like like the newer EC3. Like he's got this money and he's got. Like I love like the dynamic, like how they are similar, but they're not telling you they're similar. They're just kind of showing you they're similar. But Maria does have a new apprentice, and I'm just gonna tell you now, Velvet's guy got fired again. I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times you can get fired from the same job and still hold the same job. Like how many times can Velvet's guy get fired and then come back and then get fired and then I'm just wondering. Like, I don't think I could do that personally in my job, in my line of work or whatever. But Velvet Sky, she do it all the time. She got fired because she ended up during this segment, ended up getting booked in a match against Sienna, and obviously Sienna dominated her as much as she could. And Velvet Sky, her career in TNA is over. I know I'd seen some reports about her leaving anyway, so I wasn't surprised going into this match and with the outcome of this match. Next, we had Dixie coming out in the backstage area and letting us know that the main event will be a lumberjack match because of the hostility between Galloway and Lashley, trying to keep the action in the ring, keep the action in the arena, if nothing else. So that was kind of exciting. Cool to see that it wasn't going to be just a normal match. Kind of interested to see how the lumberjacks were going to play in it and everything. So it was kind of cool. Bennett would finally, after the little house segment where he was hanging at the crib, I think we need some TNA cribs, because we didn't see EC3's crib. Now we seeing Mike Bennett's crib. Can I go to Abyss's crib? I want to see where Janice stay. I want to see if Janice got her own room or something. I want to see, she might have her own wardrobe, in Abyss's crib. So can for the next episode of TNA Cribs, I'm gonna have to go see Abyss his crib. He probably got all 8 million of the mask he didn't wore. I'm just wondering. Opinion, but Bennett comes out to the ring and he's gonna call out a TNA Hall of Famer, and I thought this was funny because I'm like, there ain't none on the like as far as wrestlers are concerned, there ain't none on the roster. I don't think, not that I know of. So the only one left was Earl Hebner. He calls out Earl Hebner and he says, I got a chance for you to ref my match, which was cool. It was a once in a lifetime moment, or twice or three times, depending if you stay on the TNA roster. He got a chance for Earl Hebner to ref a fight of his, and now he says, let me fight you. And Earl like, man, I'm a ref, man. Don't you see the shirt? The ref always like, the shirt. Like, but I mean, what if he don't know what the shirt means? Just because you a wrestler don't mean you know what all the shirts mean. I don't know all the logos for the NBA and stuff just because I'm an NBA fan. I mean, I probably do, but I'm trying to help Mike Bennett here. So just follow me. And I don't know them all, but anyway, he ends up knocking him out. And Earl Hebner and his hilarious bumps that he takes in anything he does ends up knocking him out, and then I think he ends up pinning him as well. And then EC3 would come out, and because Bennett was not going to be done, he was going to kind of beat him down a little bit more. EC3 comes out, and then Mike Bennett introduces him as he flees away, introduces him to his next demon, which is Tyrus. Tyrus attacks him from behind, and then we get a match between EC3 and Tyrus, and it's last man standing. This was a good match. I think once it got going, at first it was kind of slow. At first I was like, I was into it, but it was just kind of slow. And obviously with Tyrus, it kind of starts in the power game, the power aspect of everything. But then once the weapons got involved and once it got into that real last man standing aspect, it got really exciting. Tyrus went through a table and hulked up. I saw it. I saw it with my own two eyes. He did the I don't know what this move is called, so I just call it the big ending. I don't know what it's actually called because I know my stuff, but I don't know that one. That one's tough. That one's tough. But I definitely I like the move. He hit it on the outside, and then Easter would come back and hit the Samoan drop through the guardrail, which was pretty cool. And then he would bury Tyrus under get it, Barry. He would bury Tyrus under some the steps and then get the win. So EC3 wins this match. Obviously, it's his road to redemption. He's gonna win pretty much all of these matches if he wants to fight Mike Bennett. But you can see it's getting harder and harder and harder for him. Later on, because just to keep the kind of fluidity going, I guess. Kind of fluid, right? Kind of a little bit. He sees Mike Bennett kind of going into the knockouts trailer room, locker room thing, because it was like they had like their own double wide. I'm like, I'm like, can I get my own double wide locker room? I feel like EC3 probably a little upset. He a Carter and he can't get hit, but I'm just saying. But the knockouts got their own little double wide like like locker room, which is interesting. And Mike Bennett introduces EC3 to his new demon, who's going to be Matt Hardy. So I'm wondering, is Matt Hardy going to come out in this Willow hair thing against EC3 coming up soon too? That kind of is curious thing too, an interesting thing, a curious thing. I can't English, man. I can't English today. But that's going to be an interesting little thing there. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with that. Match though, EC3 and Matt Hardy put on some good matches together. They work well together. Matt Hardy, for his age, is still doing pretty good matches. Even though he doesn't do a lot of the high flying stuff, he still, I think, puts on some really good matches. So I don't know if the moveset's going to change a little bit with this whole new Matt Hardy we're getting, this new darker, deeper, darker Matt Hardy. But next, we got a video package of Lashley training. We already talked about it, and I read it anyway. Then the next match we got was the Helms Dynasty, which is Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee going up against Eddie Edwards and DJZ. This match was real good. This match was incredible. I definitely liked it. got some good showings from pretty much everybody. Um, Pope said that the caffeine brews, and last time I checked, this was just last time I was looking at my checklist, and I tried this, I tried it, because Pope said it, so I was like, let me go try it. Last time I checked, caffeine doesn't brew. Coffee does, which has caffeine in it, so I'm thinking he was thinking coffee. Then he said caffeine, but he couldn't go back on. He already said it. He tried to prove a point. But he said caffeine brews, and last time I checked, it don't. But it happens. DJZ with a nice suicide dive from the apron. He kind of did it like Sami Zayn does the torpedo DDT. I thought that was freaking cool. It was epic. I loved it. I love DJZ. I hope he gets another chance at that title because him as X Division champion, I loved it the first time, and I've always had a lot of respect for DJZ and what he does. I think he's really good. Kind of underutilized now though. Now that he's in this DJ gimmick, he does have a new thing going on though, with the whole futuristic helmet thing. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get me one, and I'm just gonna wear it everywhere. I'm gonna wear it everywhere. I'm gonna wear it here. I'm gonna wear it there. I'm gonna wear it over there. I'm gonna wear it to the Walmart. I'm wearing it everywhere. I'm gonna get one. It's in the mail. It's in the mail. So next week, don't hold me to that, but next week. Um, but I thought this match was really good. I like the name, the Helms Dynasty, for that tag team. I'm wondering, are they gonna go for the tag team title since they are a team? I pretty sure I could have swore there was 3 people in this group. I know obviously Helms is a factor, but I thought there was another active superstar right now in this group. But I might be not thinking putting Gregory Herbert Helms or whatever we call him in this group. So I don't know. But I'm liking the Helms dynasty. I'm liking Eddie Edwards still getting some good matches in with the whole Davey still being hurt. I kind of wish Davey would stop being hurt and come back. I want the Wolves back. Because I feel like right now with this match, even though DJZ did do some nice things, I still think Eddie Edwards is overshadowing him a little bit, and that it's kind of supposed to be that way, just because Eddie Edwards is in the feud, DJZ is not necessarily in the feud, but it happens. This is a good match. I thought it was really good. I was really a fan. Next we get the fact of life dummy, with Eli Drake, and his dummy, was Bram. And this was a fun little segment, kind of them going back and forth. I'm loving Bram right now. I think him getting a chance to talk and kind of go back and forth with Eli Drake kind of helps them feed off of each other a little bit. Kind of gives you a new side of Bram, or kind of the same side, but gives you a more talkative side of Bram. So that kind of helps build his character even more, I feel like, and kind of helps you grow a little bit more. Helps him grow a little bit more to you, or I'm trying to say words, but they ain't coming out the way that the word is supposed to. Anyway, this was a good segment though. It was a funny segment. I love Eli Drake. I think we said we want more Eli Drake talking. I think we even said we wanted just a segment with Eli Drake talking, like just send him out there and talk every week. And then they gave us the fact of life, So I'm definitely liking it. I think it's a good segment. I like that it builds on his feuds too. I like that it's not just something that's just to have him talk. Like, it is to have him talk, but it's also to build on his feuds a little bit. And obviously he's got that briefcase, so something with him and Bram is coming up. I'm hoping it's at Slammiversary. I'm hoping maybe they even do something where Eli Drake earns a shot at the King of the Mountain title, and then he tries to cash in afterwards after losing or something like that. I think that would be a cool way to kind of go about it too, because no one's really ever done that. They've always been opportunistic with it. Whereas I think they could change it up one time and try it this way, and maybe even have Eli Drake win the title. But next we are on to our main event of the evening. Main event of the evening, we got Bobby Lashley versus Drew Galloway for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship in a lumberjack match. This match was good. It got off to a really good physical hot start. Even with 2 big guys who don't do a lot of flying around and all of that, it was still fun to watch them kind of go at it really physically. And I think making this feud so physical and so personal, and having them beat each other up everywhere they go, I think actually built a lot going into the match. having them kind of lock up really physically and everything like that. I was definitely going, loving this match going into it. And as I watched it, I was loving it too. It was a really good match um, from the very start. Going into it, because Lashley and Galloway work really well together. Lashley seems to work well with anyone he works with, which is nice. And Galloway's obviously a talented guy, so you don't expect anything less from him. But Galloway's going for the Claymore kick, but he gets pulled out by the heel Lumberjacks, who end up beating him down, and then they call for the bell, which actually surprised me a little bit because I matches were no DQ. But I think it's fine because I think the way this show ended was epic with DJZ, Robbie E, and Trevor Lee. It's all the E's, man. It's Z, E, Lee, E, D. All of them. They jumped outside the ring with different dives. Kind of their own little suicide dive, which was cool. Then we got the superplex to the outside. I think that was Eddie Edwards and Andrew Everett, going to the outside with the superplex. That was freaking epic on everyone. That was freaking cool. And I like that they continued every feud, even with this one segment to end the show that kind of ended it in, so much disarray. It also had it's good. It was good. It was segmented. It was organized very well, where even though it was going crazy everywhere and it was cool to watch, you still saw the feuds continue to develop through this segment, which I thought was really cool. And then Lashley would end up spearing EC3. Finally, EC3 got in the ring to kind of cut off Mike Bennett, who was standing tall. Lashley would spear EC3, and then he would get met by a Claymore kick, and the world champion would be kind of the last man standing. Even after a suicide dive, he would dive outside of the ring and freaking flip and still land on his feet, which was freaking cool. And not Lashley, but Galloway. Drew Galloway ended up being the last man standing in the ring, which was freaking cool. Having your world champion kind of being that guy, that's the staple right now, which is kind of cool. I'm loving what TNA is doing with their feuds. They got a lot going on. Even the Knockouts division has some things going on too, with the whole Sienna situation, the Maria being the leader. There's something there. We're not quite sure yet what they're going to do with Jade and who's going to be her contender. But I'm definitely excited, man. I think Slammiversary is going to be good. I think it's about a month away, a little bit less than a month away now. Let me see if I can remember the date right offhand. I think it's on the 19th, if I'm not mistaken, on June the 19th. So, actually one day and one day less than a month away. So I think it should be good. TNA hasn't, I mean, maybe just because they don't do them as much. So it's kind of one of those things where you get even more excited for it. They get even more excited for it. It's finally something that's live. So, and we know their live shows are really good. So I'm really liking what TNA is doing right now. I'm kind of wondering, what's going to go on with these different feuds. Next week's going to be cool. We got Ultimate X. That's going to be freaking awesome. I know Casey's going to be excited for that one. One of his favorite matches of all time, Ultimate X. That'll be freaking cool. I'm wondering, is the X Division title on the line? Because just because it's Ultimate X doesn't necessarily mean the title has to be on the line. But I'm also wondering about the Decay. They weren't on the show this week, but I'm wondering what they're going to do with them and kind of who they're going to feud with. Because there's still not very many tag teams out there. So I'm wondering what's going to happen with that. But I thought this show was really good. I was enjoying it. I think it ended really well. It started really hot. Even the middle was really good. I was liking it. It was a really complete, very complete show. But next thing we got for you, I think it's Extreme Rules. The Extreme Rules review on Sunday. That will also be live and in living, whatever you see. If it's black and white, if it's color, if it's half black and white, half color, man, just let me try it out. Let me see them glasses you got. I just want to try it. But this was your TNA review for 5/17/2016. We got Extreme Rules coming up, and another 6-pack coming up after that. That should be exciting. I think this week's 6-pack is going to be the top superstars of the month. Actually, it's going to be next week because there's more days this month than usual. So more Tuesdays this month than usual. So that'll be a good top 6 wrestlers from any promotion coming up soon on that. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and go ahead and keep us, up to date on how you feeling about TNA, how you feeling about wrestling, man. It's the instant classic wrestling. It's wrestling, but wrestling podcast, So, tell us what you're watching, follow us on Twitter as well. We do a lot of stuff with the Twitter. Now I do, at least. Casey doesn't do anything. He hates Twitter. He hates it. But I try to tweet whenever I can. If I'm watching the show live, especially, I try to tweet. Don't necessarily do it if it's a recorded show, because then I end up looking on Twitter and knowing everything that I don't want to know. But, I try to tweet during Raw and TNA. And if I finally catch up on Lucha Underground, eventually I'll tweet some of that stuff out too. I'm just trying to be more active, trying to meet more fans through Twitter, and get more fans coming in, talking to us, letting us know how they feeling. But Extreme Rules should be pretty good. Slammiversary should be pretty good. So I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you guys later, and not on that weird thing that Casey says, but we're going to see you guys later.